Heavenly Father, we give thanks for being. We give thanks for being here, and most of all, we give thanks for being here together for this most special occasion, knowing that Julissa and Andrew have fallen in love so deeply and completely that they are making a bond, a sacred covenant before you, whereby their hearts, their bodies, and their souls shall be united as one in marriage for the rest of their days.
Yes.
Amen. This ceremony is a public affirmation of Andrew's and Julissa's commitments to each other as husband and wife in a relationship based on the strength of love, faith, and trust. Such a marriage enhances their integrity and individuality. The love they feel is unique, and it begins with their acceptance of each other's identity and needs and a willingness to grow, both individually and together. It is a commitment to aid in difficult moments of sorrow and pain, as well as sharing the happy times of joy and fulfillment, which all bring deeper faith and trust in one another. Julissa and Andrew have selected 3 short readings to share with you this afternoon. The first is from Scripture. It's from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and it will be read by Julissa's aunt and godmother, Veronica Anderson. Well, I probably should get your name correct. I'm sorry.
Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And now these 3 remain, faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love.
And our second reading is from the Prophet by Khalil Gibran, and this time Andrew's sister Brooke Krause.
You were born together, and together you shall be forevermore. You shall be together while the white wings of death scatter your days. You shall be together, even in the silent memory of God. But let there be spaces in your togetherness, and let the wings of heaven dance between you. Love one another, but make not a bond of love. Let it rather be a moving sea between the shores of your souls. Fill each other's cup, but drink not from one cup. Give one another of your bread, but eat not from the same loaf. Sing and dance together and be joyous, but let each of you be alone. Even as the strings of a lute are alone, though they quiver with the same music. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping, for only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadows.
Well, it's finally come to this. All that planning, all the time, working on this. It's so good to be here with you today. I want to thank you both for giving me the opportunity to be a part of your very special day. It means a great deal to me. Has anyone given you any advice about marriage? None?
That's great.
Well, I suspect you're going to get more of it today, and in fact, some people think that's what the reception is for, so be prepared for that. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't have a few thoughts about successful marriage, and I did promise I wouldn't speak for more than an hour and a half, and I'll keep my word. It's always dangerous putting a microphone in front of a minister, but I'll be brief. And in fact, what I'm going to say to you really isn't a revelation so much as a reminder. So first of all, I encourage you both to listen carefully to one another. Listening is more than just hearing. It means taking the time to be open and available, to truly be accessible to one another. Sometimes it means hearing what's not being said. And frankly, most of us learn more by listening than talking. So listen carefully. Now, of course, you're going to be doing your share of talking and more talking. And I urge you to do that honestly and directly. Now, I know we're in Minnesota, and there is a reputation that Minnesotans have for being passive-aggressive. I'm not suggesting that you bludgeon each other with the truth. You can do it gently, coming from a place of love and care. But you really do build the trust and faith in your relationship when you dare to speak your truth. Now, I hope you're not going to waste any time trying to change each other, because it's way too late for that. Oh, I know. Some people go into marriage thinking, just wait till after we're married, then things will be different. Well, they'll be different, but what right does any one of us have to expect someone else to change to suit our wishes? The fact is, you're both going to continue to grow and change, and how wonderful to do that in the company of someone who is absolutely committed to your happiness and well-being. Share in each other's dreams, help each other fulfill them. I know you both have a sense of humor, and thank goodness for that. That may be the saving grace in marriage a lot of the time, to be able to laugh at yourself and at one another and with one another and at all the craziness in the world around us will help you maintain your physical health, your mental stability, and the vitality of your relationship. Mm-hmm. Laugh often, laugh long and hard together.
Yes.
And finally, I urge you both to find a way each day to truly express your love and commitment to one another. It's so easy to take a marriage for granted. We've got lots of responsibilities, so many things to do. But if you make that effort each day to say and mean and demonstrate your love for one another, this too is going to help your marriage thrive. Now, for the rest of us who love and care for the bride and groom, let us do our part as well, to listen carefully to them, to speak lovingly and supportively, and do everything in our power to help them succeed in their shared journey through life. I can't think of a greater reward for the rest of us than to see these two talented, beautiful, remarkable young people truly happy and fulfilled in their life together. May you be blessed on this, your wedding day, and throughout your life together. We have one more reading. This also from a contemporary source, from the works of Anne Morrow Lindbergh. And she had this to say about the nature of committed relationships. When you love someone, you do not love them all the time in exactly the same way from moment to moment. It is an impossibility. It is even a lie to pretend to. And yet, this is exactly what most of us demand. We have so little faith in the ebb and flow of life, love, and relationships. We leap at the flow of the tide and resist in terror its ebb. We are afraid it will never return. We insist on permanency, on duration, on continuity, when the only continuity in life, as in love, is in growth, in fluidity, and in freedom. The only real security is not in owning or possessing, not in demanding or expecting, not in hoping even. Security in a relationship lies neither in looking back to what was in nostalgia, nor forward to what it might be in dread or anticipation, but living in the present relationship and accepting it as it is, here and now. I hope everyone here has a good imagination. We have a little problem with the wind today, and we have the unity candle that the bride and groom are going to light. But we're going to have to imagine the virtual flames. So now, I'm going to call upon you in just a moment to light those candles. Julissa and Andrew, today you are making a lifelong commitment to one another. As you each hold your individual candles, the separate flames represent your lives to this moment, individual and unique. So why don't you step over? Don't burn yourself. As you each hold your individual candles, those virtual separate flames represent your lives to this moment. So please, go ahead as you now combine your flames together. Your lives also join together as one family. This symbolizes the beginning of a new family and also symbolizes passion and love. And may your marriage and your family be joined together with a special strength that will be honored throughout time. And may these flames, visible or not, always shine brightly as the sunshine of your lives. I told you a sense of humor would come in handy, didn't I? Well, Julissa and Andrew, in the presence of all those assembled here today, you declare your intention to honor, love, comfort, and uphold one another, showing kindness, understanding, and respect as partners in life forever? If so, answer, we do. Well, I believe the moment of truth has arrived, and it's time for you to exchange your vows. Julissa and Andrew have taken on the formidable task and demonstrate great courage by writing their own vows. So I'll hold the microphone, and I'd like you to begin.
Andrew, every time I tried to write these vows, I thought about all of the ways in which I love you, and all of the reasons that I wanted to marry you. And words just seemed inadequate. There's no one way that I love you, and there's no one reason why I want to marry you. There's just you. Over the last 7.5 years, you've become more than just the man that I love. You've become my rock during the worst times, and you've become my biggest fan during the best times. You've become my confidant and my co-conspirator, my ally and my voice of reason. But more than anything, you've become my best friend. When we're together, I feel like we can do anything in the world, and you make me want to be the best possible version of me. You've brought out the best in me, and you've held my hand when I've been at my worst. You've proven time and time again that you're not afraid to stick with it when things get tough. You've shown me what it means to love. Completely, honestly, and unselfishly. And I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. So, for the rest of our lives, I vow to keep our relationship a priority. Even when things get busy and free time is sparing, I vow to always put our relationship first. I vow to communicate, not only when things are good and conversation is easy, but also when things are difficult and the hard things need to be said. I vow to always listen to your point of view with an open mind and to value and respect your opinion. I vow to always be honest with you, even if that means our opinions differ and we spend the next 3 hours hashing out a compromise. I vow to stand beside you and support you, whether that means being your rock during a particularly difficult time of life, or just going to a vet appointment with you so that you don't have to deal with 3 wailing cats all on your own. I'll be there. I vow to remind you every single day that I love you. I'm so lucky to have you in my life, and I don't ever want you to forget that. But most of all, I vow to love you, now and forever.
Well, that's a tough act to follow.
Yes, it is.
I know you're up to the task.
Jules, so forget telling. I wish I could show you how I feel about it. How much I love you and need you in my life. Because, exactly like you said, words just never enough. I love waking up next to you. I love how we bring each other coffee in the morning and how we can instantly tell from a single look, whether the other person is having a bad day. I love how even in situations where there's nothing we can do to help each other, we still try. I love how you can make me have a full-on belly laugh that nothing else can. And I love how you make me want to do silly, childish things together just because we can. I mean, the other day we spent 15 minutes trying to throw hats into each other's heads just because it was fun.
Oh, I just know that.
I love your strength, and I love your drive. And I love your sense of humor that can be both dark and morbid and childish and innocent all in the same sentence. You're wonderful, and I want to spend the rest of my life surrounded by everything that is you. In that vein, I have 2 vows that I vow that I am always going to laugh at your mom jokes, especially the one about why the mushroom was invited to the party, no matter how many times I've heard them. I vow that I will never go to bed if we were fighting, and even if it takes hours and we're exhausted, I'm going to do my part to work through whatever issues we're having. I vow that I will show you, with actions great and small, all up to you. I vow that I will always communicate with you, even when the things that have to be said won't be pleasant for either of us to hear. Our willingness to communicate has always been our greatest strength, and I vow to continue that. And finally, I vow to love you with everything I have, even beyond till death do us part, because I think we both know that we'll always find each other in our next life.
The rings that you're about to exchange symbolize how your lives are now joined in one unbroken circle, in which wherever you go, you will always return to one another. And now will you repeat together after me? Let this ring be a symbol of my promises today,
Be a symbol of my promises today,
and a sign of the unity
And a sign of the unity
with which we face the world.
with which we face the world.
That's a good sign, Andrew. That's not coming off easily. Yes, you did get the correct hand. And now by all the power and authority vested in me by the church and the state, I pronounce you husband and wife, and now you may kiss. I predict there'll be more of that during the reception too. And I want to say, in all the busy things going on this week, I'm so glad you continued to practice the kiss. I gave them that as homework months ago, and they seemed a little reluctant at first. I think you did very well. Keep up the good work. Now, just a few announcements before we conclude. Jules and Andy will not be having a formal receiving line. Instead, they want to greet you during the reception. The wedding party and the immediate family members are asked to return to the gazebo after the recessional for more photos. And everyone else is invited to proceed inside through the main entrance for the social hour. And I want to assure you there will be no sword play during the reception. And now, let these be our closing words today. May the love that has grown between you be a blessing to all those around you, binding everything together in perfect harmony. An invisible thread connects those who are destined to meet regardless of time, place, or circumstance. The thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. May you both always be open to each new thread that comes into your lives and weave them into a brilliant and beautiful life. And may we all have sufficient strength, courage, and love that we might truly live together in peace. And now I take great pleasure in presenting the newly wedded couple, Mr. and Mrs. Andrew and Julissa Trout. Congratulations.
Well done. Well done. Yes.
Now I gotta ask somebody how to post this on YouTube, so that it's on YouTube by the time they get in there at the reception.